What's good, everyone? This is your main correspondent, Alan Taylor, and I'm back in the broadcast room yet again, always with another one. And yes, indeed, it is another one. So apparently, Joe Biden is trying to broker a ceasefire deal with Israel and Hezbollah. So, this is the thing right here that I'm tripping about. It's like, okay, you want to broker a ceasefire deal with them, but you're also giving Ukraine the okay to use ATACMS. So I'm all confused here, but we're going to go here now. We're going to get the information here from two sources. I got CBS in the broadcast room and also NBC. So we're going to go here now. Let's do this. Quarters, nickels, and dimes, people.
Following major development.
Hold on, my bad.
Right. To the Middle East, President Biden. Following major developments in the Middle East, President Biden says the U.S. helped broker a ceasefire deal between Israel and Hezbollah, set to take effect in about an hour our time. It aims to end a year of deadly fighting in Lebanon. Our Natalie Brand has the very latest from the White House.
President Biden announced a U.S. brokered ceasefire deal between Israel and Hezbollah.
Under the deal reached today, effective at 4 a.m. tomorrow local time, the fighting across the Lebanese-Israeli border will end.
The deal will be implemented immediately, but in phases, giving Israel 60 days permitted for the withdrawal of its forces. Even as negotiations continued Tuesday, an Israeli airstrike hit a residential building in Beirut. Lebanon's health ministry says attacks have killed more than 3,500 people since fighting started and displaced more than 1 million. On the Israeli side, about 90 soldiers and nearly 50 civilians have been killed in the north and tens of thousands displaced.
Civilians on both sides will soon be able to safely return to their communities and begin to rebuild their homes, their schools, their farms, their businesses.
The Biden administration hopes a ceasefire deal in Lebanon could provide momentum for ending the war between Israel and Hamas in Gaza.
By de-escalating tensions in the region, it can also help us to end the conflict in Gaza. In particular, Hamas will know that it can't count on other fronts opening up in the war.
Secretary of State Antony Blinken says the administration is in communication with the incoming Trump administration and hopes continuity leads to peace and security in the region.
Now, don't get me wrong. I do want peace. I do want us to get out of these wars, of course, as America. Technically, we're not in them, but technically we are. And that's the problem. You know what I'm saying? It's too much of this unknown thing. We're technically in war, but we're technically not. It's crazy to me. But okay, we're gonna keep going and things like that. And we're gonna see what and we're gonna check this out. We're gonna see what NBC has to say about this situation. Okay.
Well, Andrea, you heard the president make a turn into the situation in Gaza with Hamas. Mm-hmm. This deal does not cover that. But how much momentum does that potentially offer to get a deal done there as well?
Well, U.S. officials believe that this does weaken and isolate Hamas. And so actually do many of the hostage families who are so desperate to get their families home, the 7 Americans, the others, the Israelis. They believe that there are maybe 90 to 100, maybe half of them are still alive. It's been, as you know, more than a year. And the breakthrough here, I'm told by these senior U.S. officials, was breaking the link between Hezbollah, backed by Iran, demanding that there be a total ceasefire in Gaza first before they would negotiate anything. And finally, the U.S. said, let's separate the two. And that's a big burden, of course, for the hostage families and for the people, the Israelis as well as the Palestinians, most primarily, who are suffering the horrors as described by President Biden just now in Gaza. But the fact was that they felt they had to do Lebanon first and get Hezbollah to agree to that because Israel was frankly also exhausted by 2 fronts. And the Israeli army wanted this deal in Lebanon so that they could focus on Netanyahu's demand that they finish the job in Hamas, with Hamas in Gaza. Now, The political background here, Lester, is that the former defense official who was fired, the defense minister, Gallant, said in July that Hamas was done as much as they could accomplish and that they could be done in Gaza, but wanted to focus on the north. There was a lot of support in Israel for focusing on the north, getting those up to 90,000 people back in their homes who had evacuated from that area. But
I mean, and I definitely agree with the situation. Like, it has to end at some point. So, the strategy has to get going at some point. We have to end this one, and we also have to end the Ukraine Russia situation.
At the same time, 1 million Lebanese, according to the Lebanese officials, have evacuated from their homes. Now, some of them can start returning, but there is a huge devastation in Gaza.
Thanks for watching. Stay updated about breaking news.
All right. So, yeah, man, it is what it is at this point. I am glad to see that, they're trying to end the wars and things like that. I am glad to see that. But my thing of this is that we still have a situation with Ukraine. They're still trying to, Biden gave them the okay and things like that to use those ATACMS. So all this war is, it's not needed for anybody, any country, any of us. And this is the problem here. A lot of money is going into this situation and things like that. But, hopefully they go head on and definitely end the Israel-Hamas situation and stuff like that and get that on out, and then try to, I don't know if Biden's going to actually try to focus on the Ukraine situation because, he gave them the okay. But it is what it is. Shout out to all my subscribers. Mad love to y'all. If you're new to the channel, please hit that like, share, subscribe button. Make sure you ring that bell to be notified whenever I decide to post things. And like I always say, that, my friends, is the bottom line.